Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Total Retail Talks. I'm Joe Keenan, the editor-in-chief of Total Retail. I'm joined on this episode by Bryan Anastasi, who is the Vice President of Customer Care and Business Solutions at Raymour Flanigan Furniture. Bryan and I are going to be talking a little bit about the Raymour Flanigan business, as well as its recent partnership with NetSuite and how it's kind of leveraging that technology to help improve its customers' experience. So thank you for joining me today, Bryan.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Joe. I appreciate being here.
So I wanted to get us started by having you give a quick overview of the Raymour Flanigan business. I think most probably do know a little bit about it, but if there are those in the audience that might not, could you give a quick primer on the business?
For sure. So Raymour Flanigan is a family-owned business, furniture and mattress retailer that started with one store in Syracuse back in 1947. Today, we operate across 7 states in the Northeast. We have about 150 retail locations, 4 distribution centers, 22 customer delivery centers, and a website, obviously, which is actually our largest retail location.
Perfect. So with that information, also interested a little bit about you personally, Bryan. So if you could tell the audience a little bit about your professional background and your current role at Raymour Flanigan.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. I have been with Raymour Flanigan for 15 years in various customer service, operations, distribution, product support type roles. Prior to Raymour Flanigan, I was in the exciting world of telephone collections. I don't think we need to spend a lot of time there. Currently, like you had mentioned, I'm the Vice President of Customer Care and Business Solutions. Essentially, I lead the customer care organization for the company, including our store associates, call center associates, and our fleet of in-home repair technicians. And then the end business solutions piece is really, I manage a team of product manager type associates who act as the bridge between IT and our business partners to make sure we're getting the most out of the solutions that we purchase.
So thanks for that. This provides some good context for the conversation we're going to have today. I wanted to ask you, as a long tenured employee, I think you said 15 years at Raymour Flanigan, so you've been there a little while now. So can you talk a little bit about what you've seen over the years as Raymour Flanigan has really grown? It's been a nice story. Can you talk about some of the factors that you attribute to the growth and the success that the business has seen over the years?
Yeah, I think it starts with our ownership group. They certainly are it's a privately owned company, as I mentioned before. The owners play a hands-on role in the business. They're involved at the detail level. They're not shy about getting involved and supporting all of us here. That level of support from the ownership group goes a long way in helping us achieve success. And, secondly, and I know this might sound a little trite, but it's really our culture here. I know a lot of companies talk about their culture and wanting to build a strong culture, but I believe we live the culture here at Raymour. We specifically focus on taking amazing care of our associates or our employees, and believe that if we take great care of them, they're going to take great care of our customers. And we have many associates working here for 10, 20 plus years. And although we have very, very high expectations as an organization for ourselves, they really stay because of that culture, and we're all very proud to be part of the team here at Raymour Flanigan.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a lot about that kind of that people piece of the equation, and specifically how you're giving those associates the tools they need to help improve and help them do their jobs to the best of their ability and best serve the customer, obviously, which is number one. I'm going to go back to the growth piece for a second. Given that you're growing as a business, that obviously is a great thing, but then on the flip side, it does present some challenges when it comes to scaling that growth as you roll out more stores, you build out the digital presence, the e-commerce site. Talk a little bit about any challenges that you've seen as the business has scaled and grown.
Yeah, I'll start with the furniture industry doesn't have a reputation of being like on the cutting edge of technology. So you're absolutely right. Growth does present challenges. Um, you know, as we've grown from a small kind of mom and pop company, over the years, and we've seen that our reliance on things like tribal knowledge and manual processes and our antiquated system puts a lot of strain on the business and our associates. As you scale up and you add additional retail locations and you add complexity to your business, if you rely on those manual processes and tribal knowledge, you really can cause your associates and your customers to suffer in some ways, no matter how much you care about them. When you have to jump through hoops and do things to try and make systems and processes work, that growth comes with a lot of pain.
And then when you mention making it work, I would imagine that's kind of getting systems also to communicate with each other. So making that integrated, back end experience, and kind of tying up some of the systems so that they're able to work together, in a less manual process.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're spot on, and also the data piece of it. I mean, I think many businesses like our own have a wealth of data that's in various systems, and it's very difficult to pull it all together and gain real insights. Right? Everybody talks about business intelligence and understanding your customer. All that is accomplished through data, and when you're on older systems, that data is in such disparate places. It's very difficult to gain those insights.
So thinking about that, you've identified as you scale, these challenges present themselves. That the back end systems, maybe it's inventory and order management, that things aren't necessarily integrated, and that leads to disconnects. And also the data piece, collecting that valuable customer and product data that you have. Tell us a little bit about at Raymour and Flanigan how you're then using technology to help address some of those challenges that you just cited.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we certainly recognized over the past few years, and like everyone who was challenged by the pandemic and the way you had to interact with customers during that time period, that we needed to upgrade our systems and really, create a more modern experience for our customers. And we started a robust search to find the right partner who could help us with really what's the backbone of most businesses, which is our ERP system. And that's where we decided to start.
And you ultimately landed after that search was completed with NetSuite. Tell us a little bit about NetSuite, that partnership, and why it was the right partner for Raymour and Flanigan.
Yeah, you're right. We landed with NetSuite, and I remember our first meeting with them, feeling so at ease with the team and their culture and the product that they offered. I think we've partnered with a lot of software vendors over the years, and many of them offer similar products and functionality. For us, because our culture is so strong here at Raymour and Flanigan, we wanted to make sure we chose a partner who had an equally strong culture and that our values aligned. And I felt it from the first meeting with NetSuite. And as we went through their demos and the rest of the sales process, it just became clear that what they had to offer, total package, the software, the ease of use, the modern technology platform that could enable, the data concerns and all the other things we talked about, and the people, how passionate they are about what they do for NetSuite. It was a perfect fit for us.
So you roll out this new ERP solution from NetSuite. Talk about maybe potential use cases and how you've seen your customer benefit, as well as making We've talked a little bit about the store associate too, and the kind of the role they play in this in the customer experience. Tell us how they're able to use that ERP solution to its full benefit as well.
Yeah. Well, just for clarification, I wish we could fast forward to where we were implemented. We're not there, we're not there yet. We're in the process of going through the implementation right now, so we're not live just yet. But a couple of examples of how this is going to change our associates and our customers' lives. Right now, from an inventory availability point of view, when a customer comes into a store, we can tell them whether it's in stock or out of stock, and we can tell them, what an anticipated back in stock date is. But again, going back to the data, there's a lot of disparate data we're trying to use to pull those dates together, and they're not always accurate, and it can cause frustration with our salespeople, with our customers, and with our customer care associates who are trying to help those customers. So, the modern technology that NetSuite offers is all of that inventory information is going to sit in one platform. We're going to be able to connect to our vendors, our suppliers in a way we haven't before, and stream that data in real time so that we can give our customers accurate information. They're not coming into the store just to look at furniture. They're coming into the store to choose furniture that they're going to live with for the next several years and spend time with their family with. And furniture, I didn't know this before I got in the furniture industry. It's an emotional experience for people, right? You think about, you buy a new home and you're furnishing it, or you're going to host your first Thanksgiving dinner. All of that is really important to our customers. And when we can't deliver on our promises, or we mistakenly quote the wrong date to a customer, it hurts our brand and it hurts our relationship with our customers.
Yeah, and I would imagine, to your point about having all of that inventory data in one platform, for the furniture shop, right? You would think that most of that journey starts online. Like they're doing a little bit of the research online, but with a considered purchase like furniture or a mattress, they want to go and see it, touch it, feel it, get the true experience that you may not be able to get online. So having that inventory data synced up between channels, I guess, is super critical to the experience you want to provide.
100%. It's interesting. I was in a store yesterday, just visiting and talking to some of the folks there, and a customer came in, and I was chatting with him, and he was looking for a Nectar mattress. And the first thing he said to me was, I was online and I was looking for retailers who had it, and you guys have this style that I'm looking for. And I could never buy a mattress online and not lay on it. So, can you show me where it is? And can I lay on the mattress and try it out? And I quickly passed him over to one of our home furnishing consultants, because I'm not a sales guy. But that is a regular experience for us, that our customers are pre-shopping. They know what they want to look for. They're not coming to walk through a whole furniture store for hours. They're coming in with their shopping cart or their wish list, and they're saying, "Hey, show me this furniture or mattresses or accessories or whatever it might be. I want to see it, and then I want to buy it."
Yeah, it's the perfect example of that interconnected shopping experience, and why it's Raymour and Flanigan is invested in the technology to make those types of experiences seamless and easy for the customer. So as we think about the beginning of a new year, as we record this in the later part of January, can you talk about priorities and business opportunities that Raymour and Flanigan is targeting in 2023? You mentioned I think there's going to be a great benefit when you get this ERP solution up and running. Talk about other focuses for the business this year.
Yeah, certainly, I spoke a bunch about the focus on associates and our customers, and that's going to continue to be a focus for us. We are entering into what many believe could be unsure economic times, so we certainly have an eye on that, and making sure that we're prepared for whatever comes around the corner. We believe that if we stay focused on our associate and customer experience, that we'll continue to be in business for another 75 years, and be very successful. So in light of that and our focus on our customer experience, really we're going to be focusing on the idea of trying to push more information to our customers instead of having to try and have them pull it from us. Friction in the shopping experience is very frustrating, right? You think about your cell phone carrier, or your internet provider, or whoever you might go to get a service or any kind of retail good from. When they make it difficult for you, or they don't have the information at your fingertips, it makes you less interested in buying from them, even if they have a quality product. And we are still in a place where there's some information that our customers do have to call us about or chat in with us about to get updates on their order. And we're working hard to make sure that we can get that information out to our customers right before they think they want it, so that it's there when they look for it and they don't need to inconvenience themselves and come to us for that information.
And that timing piece is critical, like you said, right before they think they need it. So you're kind of planting that seed in their mind, right?
Exactly.
And you make an interesting point, in a category, as we're kind of in these uncertain economic times, and there's obviously challenges, inflation, and the consumer has been challenged a little bit. As you think about your category, where it's not necessarily something that's a need, how do you think about preparing the business to operate in that kind of macroeconomic environment? I guess it comes back to that customer relationship and you and what you guys are doing to kind of maintain those relationships, even if the customer might not yet be ready to buy.
Yeah, I think it is that. I also think it's keeping the balance between the quality of our product and our price point. We want to offer a great value to our customers at a fair price, and that's something we talk about on a regular basis. And we want to create customers for life. Like you said, it's not about, this one purchase or this one time that you're in the store and whether we close that deal or not. We want to show our customers who we are as an organization and create that relationship where they trust us to come in when they're a new family and when they have a new home, and when their children grow up, they come to us as well. That's what our business has been built on, and that's where we're going to continue to focus. And I think that will allow us to weather any storm that comes around the corner.
Yeah, it's a great point. And that competing on value, which Raymour and Flanigan does very well. So I want to take the opportunity to thank Bryan Anastasi, who is the Vice President of Customer Care and Business Solutions at Raymour and Flanigan, for joining us on this episode of Total Retail Talks. Thank you, Bryan.
Thank you, Joe. It was great spending some time with you.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at mytotalretail.com/podcasts for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.